Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Now, where we left off last time about annuals was with the interspecific begonia, the megawatt series, and the new red bronze leaf. Now, the red bronze leaf is going to be really going to hit you in the eye. Because first of all, you've got the bronzy red leaf, you've got the super red flowers as well, and it's large. Not only the flowers are reasonably large, but also it is a large plant, and it will be joining the megawatt lineup in 2018. It grows 50 to 70 centimeters tall. Now that's what I call big. That fills a pot. And it's going to be 40 to 60 centimeters wide. So think about that. That's a begonia that'll go a little bit into the sun, a little bit into the shade, keep it moist, and works well in a container. So think of it as being huge in a container. Then we have the osteospermums. Now, they've been around a long time. And they've slowly been inbreeding them and getting them better and better and better. And this one is the Aquila Grand Canyon mixture. This is an African daisy, osteospermum. And this Grand Canyon mix is a multicolored plant. Now, that means that it's got yellows, and it's got the bicolors like rose and reds, as well as purples and lavenders and creams and whites. So you've got like a field of dreams of all colored daisies. And that's one of the things that you should know. They love the sun. They do like reasonably good soil, particularly drainage, but they do like moisture. The plant itself grows about 40 to 50 centimeters tall and 40 to 50 centimeters wide. So you can have this field of African daisies right here in Niagara. Now, the Sahara series of zinnias have been around for quite a while, and they've always garnered a great reputation. The plant itself is neat in shape, and they come in different colors. They're fairly disease resistant, etc., etc. Well, the new raspberry ripple has sort of joining the group, and it's interesting that this bicolor, which is pink and white. Now, in the cooler conditions, it's going to be more of the rose pink. But if it gets into the heat of summer, it's going to be more white on the petals. And that makes it a little different and changing as well within the same season. It's annual. The plant itself grows 40 to 50 centimeters tall and wide, so it is significant. Now, I've been growing pansies forever and ever and ever, and everybody does. They put them out there. They always are one of the first plants you can put out into containers in the front of your house on your porch to greet people for Easter, Mother's Day, etc., etc., and not have to worry about a frost. This viola, or pansy, is a spreading pansy. It's called Cool Wave Raspberry. It's new for 2018. It's Cool Wave Raspberry is a rich, velvety rose purple. It spreads. It's more like a ground cover. It's got a white center, and it grows 15 to 20 centimeters high and 60 to 75 centimeters wide. So it's wide. This one could go into a container and trail over the edge. I'm not sure yet with this one. I haven't tried it that way. But as a sort of covering the ground, yes, for sure. Now, the Snapshot Apple Blossom Snapdragon is another one that's coming. Now, this is a dwarf garden snapdragon. It's a clean white, and it's brushed with a soft yellow, and it has this nice rose tone in the center. It's a really, really nice combination, nice coloration on the flowers. It's one I might buy just to add to the mix, because all the snapdragons in my garden are, of course, volunteers, and they were there before I got here, and they're still here. The plant itself, 15 to 25 centimeters tall and 25 to 30 centimeters wide. So it's an interesting one. Snapshot Apple Blossom Snapdragon. So take a look at that one. If you want a little unusual petunia, there is a new one called Headliner Pink Sky. Now, Headliner Pink Sky is a petunia that mounds. It flowers early in the season. It continues to flush and finishes up really quite late. It's a pink, deep pink, rose pink, and it has freckles. And its speckles or freckles are white or cream, and it just sort of adds that interest to it because no two flowers are identical. It grows 25 to 40 centimeters tall and about 50 to 75 centimeters wide. So, like most petunias, likes the sun, likes decent soil, and of course, moist as well. So, petunia is going to be an interesting one, and you don't want to let petunias generally dry out. You want them to continually to be not soaking wet, but moist. How's that? Okay? And you will get a lot of bloom and rebloom all the way along. Calendula has been around forever. It's often used in butters, and it's used as a substitute for some of the more expensive herbs in cooking. So there's a new one called Lady Godiva Orange. Now, this is a calendula that is double, a golden orange. It does not produce excessive amounts of seed. They're not going to be all over the place. Yes, they still produce seed, but not as many. How's that? So it's a little more well-behaved in the garden. It encourages blooming throughout the whole season, so it doesn't stall in midsummer heat. The next one I'd like to always sort of say, Plectranthus sculptarioides, okay? And all we're really saying is coleus, okay? Main Street, Ruby Road, coleus. This one is a vibrant mix of hot pink, burgundy, and chartreuse. If you look at this one and you've been around for a long time like myself, it will look a lot like some of the older ones that did much better in the sun than in the shade. Just the coloration, the shape, etc. So it looks like it's not a new one, but an old one. It is going to be new for 2018, and it's from Doom & Orange. So I think this one just might be worthwhile taking a look at as well. Simply because it's interesting, it's a good filler, it's tough, and of course, it'll look familiar. It won't stand out and hit you in the face because you'll be able to ignore it because you've seen it before, except that you haven't. Impatience, there's a new one called Sun Patents Compact Purple. The Sun Patents are what the people often call sunshine impatience. And this line is known for its disease resistance. It's got great color, the petals overlap, there's a ton of flowers. So there's sometimes you have to go looking for the leaves, in fact. It is a very vibrant color. It's sort of a, I don't know, do you want to call it a purpley vibrant red? No, pink, purple. It's in that range anyways. Almost a raspberry violet. Raspberry violet? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so take a look at that one simply because it's going to give you a slightly different tone. It's going to do well in the garden, and it's going to be compact and excellent. Petunia, Success Yellow Chiffon. Now, a lot of yellows in the petunias just don't stand up. They fade. They fall apart on you. They don't rebloom. They've got times when they're not going to bloom again. A lot of people stay away from the yellows because of it. This one is a new one. It's called Success Yellow Chiffon. And it is an excellent one in the fact that it's a yellow chiffon. It's a light yellow. So it's one of the ones that don't relax or fade. And that's what you're looking for in a yellow petunia. The next one is Salvia farinaceae Farina Arctic Blue. Now this is a sage, but it's not an edible one. This is the salvias. You've seen lots of red salvias, pink salvias, purple salvias, white salvias, and there's a blue one as well. But this one is an Arctic blue, and it's closer related to the regular ones than the unusual ones when it comes to flowers, flower stalks, and coloration. The flower stalk is 18 inches tall and holds their color all through the season. It comes in a series, and there's blue, a bicolor blue, blue, silver blue, violet, and white. So lots of different, slightly different shades as well. How about some roses? Now, the Rose at Last is coming out from Chardon's and Proven Winners this year. I've got it in the backyard. I got it late. It's just been planted, so I can't relate to it in the garden itself, but it did very well in the pot. So it will be a good one to take a look at. It grows 75 to 90 centimeters tall. It is powdery mildew and black spot resistant, and therefore a good plant to add to your garden. There's a grandiflora rose. Now, the grandiflora roses are the big hybrid teas that come in clusters. They often will open at the same time, but sometimes they'll open up slightly staggered. And this one is called Pure White Flowers, Miss Congeniality, except that it's got the glossy green foliage and it's got vibrant pink edges. Okay, so you've got a good strong plant that grows resistance and again pretty. Garden Party would have been a very, very old one that looked like this one, but it was a hybrid tea and was much shorter than this new one called Miss Congeniality Rose. Now, the next one is a hybrid tea rose. It's Neil Diamond, and it's produces a number of sizable flowers. It's red and white. I guess you'd say it's red and white. It's more of a pinky red, white, striped. Every petal is a different streak. It grows 4 feet tall and 3 feet wide. It's put out by J.C. Backer and Sons here in St. Catharines, so it will be acclimatized and do well in Ontario as well. There's more on roses next week, and we'll continue with some of the new plants that you will need to know about for 2018. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.